Base form Swampert just won a 261-player Victory Road tournament, outperforming the 2 other Mega Swampert that were in the top 8. To me, I think this is one of the more interesting things that have happened in Regulation MB so far, and a lot of other people in the community are really interested about this as well. So I want to talk about what happened, why this happened, why Base Swampert outperformed the Mega, and what I think this actually reveals about the Rain archetype right now, and why a lot of people have largely just kind of given up on it and stopped innovating on the Rain archetype. So a little context for people that maybe don't really know what happened, but the Victory Road August Challenge had 261 players, and Kelsch won the whole thing with a team that was built around Mega Gengar and utilized base form Swampert as a bulky water pivot mon. That's right, not Mega, not the offensive Rain Sweeper that everyone assumed would be S tier when it was finally released in Champions, but a Flip Turn, Yawn, bulky water pivot, base form Swampert. And I think this is where things get really interesting, because even though there were 2 Mega Swampert in top 8, it was basically invisible for most of the tournament. I think it had less than like 4% usage in phase 2 of the tournament. And I did a video on my channel a while ago ranking Mega Swampert, and I said it would probably be a C-tier Mega. And I think a lot of people, when it came out, thought that I was crazy for saying that it would be C-tier because it was, you know, the shiny toy and blowing things up. But I still would stand by that ranking that it's C-tier. And I think this tournament, the tournament's results kind of help validate that. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later in the video. One of my favorite things to see when something happens like this is the community reaction. And it's always fun to see what people have to say. A lot of people on Reddit were talking about how everyone was saying the meta was solved, and then Scarfalo and Ninetales and non-Mega Swampert win the whole thing. I think the community is genuinely tired of the solved format narrative. And to a large point, I agree. I think the format is kind of meh. It's pretty lame. But this gives people hope that the room for creativity is not totally gone, that there's still some room for innovation and for creative picks to help you win your bad matchups. But I think it goes to show that, again, just like with anything, just like with Pachirisu from Sajin, Scizor from Stefan, and now Base Swampert, it's a smart, deliberate, anti-meta call. It's not that Swampert is broken, even though he's my boy. It's that it was the right tool for Mikel's team to help him deal with some weaknesses. Maybe he just wanted a bulky Pokemon that could pivot well, that wasn't Incineroar, that wasn't, again, weak to ground types. But when I saw this, my very first thought immediately went to, why is Mega Swampert not winning tournaments? I talked a little bit about this in my ranking video of Mega Swampert, but I want to kind of go over it again. Mega Swampert is a C-tier Mega. Not because it's bad, but because of the speed mechanics that make Rain fundamentally unreliable. So here's the big problem. When weather gets removed, someone brings their Charizard Y and Mega Evolves it in the middle of your turn, the speed drops immediately. Not at the end of the turn like it used to previously, immediately, and your speed is gone and you're a sitting duck. And then it's not even just that. Prankster Tailwind, I think, is even a bigger issue for Rain teams. Whimsicott can just click Tailwind regardless of whether it has the weather control or not, and now their whole team is faster, and again, you are just a sitting duck. So to use a Rain team effectively, to have it work, you have to have a lot go right. You have to be in a situation where your weather is up, where it's functioning. You need to be in a situation where you're controlling the speed war. And you need to be in a situation where your weather will not be removed mid-turn. That's just too many conditions that have to go right for you to effectively use Rain. And that's kind of where I think current Rain archetypes have fallen into a trap. A lot of people are trying to make Rain work with bulky screens and pivoting. Grimmsnarl setting up Light Screen and Reflect to try to let our Chaladon set up or to let Venusaur bulk things out. And I understand why. Because if you can't beat your weaknesses just with power, then it becomes maybe I'll just outbulk it and wear them down. But it's just so passive. It's so passive. It's annoyingly passive to me. You have to get Grimmsnarl out, Protect, Reflect, Light Screen, Parting Shot. While they're just beating down on you. You have to make sure all the threats are gone. And even with Light Screen up and Reflect up, Charizard Y's Weather Ball and the sun is doing 70%. Raichu's Y Focus Blast, again, like 70%. Close Combat's doing like 60%. You know, plus everything's like doing 50% plus to our Chaladon, and you spent all this time setting it up and now it's like crippled in one hit. And to me, that's just not how Rain should function. Rain is a hyper offensive archetype. It should be dealing massive damage. Turn 1, you should be making effective, positive trades immediately. And it's not that our Chaladon is bad, because we all know that it is like borderline unfair half the time, but it's just that everything that's built around it is so passive that you can't fully utilize how Rain, I think, should be utilized. If you really want Rain to be good, you have to figure out a way to make Swampert or Basculegion do massive damage immediately. Not in 3 turns, not in 2 turns, turn 1, because that's how Rain works best. So I think what Kelsch did, what he proved, isn't necessarily that base Swampert is the future of Swampert. What he proved is that Mega Swampert's offensive role is so compromised right now that the support set just outclassed it. And that's the Rain problem in a nutshell. I think if you really want a dedicated like Rain team to work with Mega Swampert and its friends, you really need to figure out how to make it competitive. You can't just set up and try to bulk out your weaknesses. It doesn't always work, and most of the time I feel like you just get set up on instead. You need to be able to find a proactive way to eliminate weaknesses, manage the new speed mechanics, and manage the weather control, because Prankster Tailwind and Dynamic Speed is a thing that's not going to go away. As much as I would just love for it to go away and go back to how it used to be, I just don't think they're ever going to do that. And my tinfoil hat theory here, my conspiracy theory, is I feel like they're doing it on purpose. I feel like the speed mechanic change was a way to make Rain worse, and we've seen that over the years. They've buffed Sun and gave Sun the best abusers time and time and time again, while only giving us, I think, our Chaladon over the last few years, and then they continued to nerf him again in the next season format, taking away Body Press, taking away Assault Vest. I just don't think they want Rain to be good, because it was so dominant in the past. So yeah, I really don't think it was an accident that it made Rain incredibly worse. I think that's what it was intended to partly do. And that's why Mega Swampert hasn't done super well on Rain teams. So do I think you should use base Swampert or Mega Swampert? I think if you can figure out a way to make the most value of your offensive Rain teams, solve the Prankster Tailwind issue instead of just trying to set up and survive, then yeah, I think that this could actually return to its former glory as the most dominant weather. But if you're just looking for a good bulky water type that has the ability to pivot so that you can move your field around when you need to, then I think base Swampert is a great choice. It's still surprisingly bulky, especially for being a Gen 3 Pokemon. And I think one of my favorite things I ever saw on the Reddit post was somebody said Swampert never needed a Mega to begin with. And I think that that's very true. Swampert's always kind of had that bulky water type slot. It just needed a good format to be good again in it. And it is fun to see it win a big tournament. So let me know what you guys think. Have you tried base Swampert? Do you think that it still has like a place that it can be used on more than just the team that Mikel used? Or do you think that Rain is actually OP right now? I would love to hear your thoughts. I think it needs some work, but I'll see you guys in the next one.